It's time for the final song of the Rush album Moving Pictures. Worked our way through all the songs, and we've made it to the final one, Vital Signs.
It's perfect for you. Ah, she's like singing out of my soul. Sometimes we get lost in our own little world, but it's all so much bigger than we realize.
After Witch Hunt and dealing with all of that, we'll check that reaction out if you're interested. I'm intrigued to see that they would have a song that ends with vital signs. Vital signs are our blood pressure, right? Our heartbeat, our oxygen level in our blood, the thing that we look for to make sure somebody is still alive. I don't know. We'll find out where this is going to go. Are you ready? Subscribe, and here we go. Super sci-fi again. Oh, there were elements of that in Witch Hunt too, which I thought was so dope.
Unstable condition, a symptom of life. In mental and environmental change, atmospheric disturbance, the feverish flux of human interface and interchange.
Oh, I like this.
Sometimes our circuits get shorted by external interference. Signals get crossed and the balance distorted by internal incoherence. A tired mind become a shapeshifter. Everybody need a mood lifter. Everybody need reverse polarity. Everybody got mixed feelings about the function and the form. Everybody got to deviate from the norm. An ounce of perception, a pound of obscure. Process information at high speed. Pause, rewind, replay. Warm memory chip. Random sample of the one you need. Leave out the fiction. The fact is restriction. Will only be won by persistence. Leave out conditions. Courageous convictions will drag the dream into existence. A tired mind become a shapeshifter. Everybody need a soft filter. Everybody need reverse polarity. Everybody got mixed feelings about the function and the form. Everybody got to elevate from the norm.
Oh,
Everybody got mixed feelings. Everybody got mixed feelings. Everybody got to
Ooh.
deviate from the norm. Everybody got to deviate from the norm. Everybody got to elevate.
Oh, heck yes. Heck yes. Heck yes. Heck yes. Wow, I'm repeating myself. I'm like a little parrot over here. Let me stop this. Stop. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm hesitant to say this because I don't want you guys to be mad at me. Listening to Free Will and Limelight, those were like I think the first couple of songs by Rush that I really experienced and I was amazed. Those were songs where I said to you, I feel smarter. Just listening to them, I feel like I've added to my repertoire of musical experiences, and by default, I'm more intelligent. Then I listened to all the various songs and then YYZ and or YYZ, and I felt humbled. I hope you're not going to be mad, but you know what? Promised you real talk, real reactions. I think this one might be my favorite or one of my favorites, might be the favorite. I love, okay, so I love the band Police, Sting and Co. And I feel there were elements here where I feel Police may have been, and maybe this is written somewhere and I don't know about it, but I feel like Police may have been inspired by Rush. If Police know what was good for them, knew what was good for them, then I find Police awesome. I wouldn't be surprised if Police pulled some inspiration from Rush. And maybe that's also partly just by default that vibe of that era, right? The 70s and 80s, late 60s, 70s, 80s, that had that note and those undertones and that vibe. But I was thinking, something about this composition made me think a little bit about Police. And it could have been the reggae-like rhythm. Now, I am still learning about beats and rhythms and signatures. I don't know for sure. Was it a one-drop rhythm or was it the steppers rhythm? There's various rhythms we find in reggae music where, for example, on a 4-beat bar, the beat falls on the third beat. The bass drum falls on the third beat. Or you have things like the all 4 beats being played, but the third is emphasized, like we find in Exodus by Bob Marley. And there were elements throughout this song that had that reggae hue, in addition to the staccato that the guitar was bringing in. But this may be my favorite, if not one of the best that I've listened to, for following reasons. I loved the reggae elements. I loved the staccato of the guitar. I love what he was doing with his voice in the chorus. That hook. Maybe I'm probably butchering it, but there was the melody that keep reoccurring that was so catchy, so not simple in the sense of simple, anybody can do it, but in the sense of memorable, pulled you in. And Geddy Lee's voice is just freaking amazing. He just has this, it's such a poignant, specific, unique voice and range. So freaking cool. I love what he was doing. Neil Peart, the way he would switch, like I said, bringing in some of those reggae rhythms, just taking us through all over the place, powerfully carrying this. Alex Lifeson on the guitar, mind-blowing riffs. But this song was one of those songs where I feel I want to hear it more. I want to experience it again. I want to have it playing and jam out in the car. I want to roll to this during jiu-jitsu. I want to be in my kitchen and just have my playlist and jam out. With Rush, all of their songs are phenomenal. Musically, from a composition standpoint, complex and profound. The vocals, the lyrics, profound. We'll talk about that in a second. But some of the songs are more of an experience or to me, were like a painting, like a masterpiece, like a moving picture that you look at and you analyze and you assess and you experience, but you don't have it playing in the background per se, perhaps because for me personally, it would be overstimulating or just too complex. This one was so beautiful, complex, but still so catchy that, yeah, this might be my favorite. Let's talk real quick about the lyrics. Vital Signs. Such a cool idea to end an album with this, right? When we talk about vital signs, again, the signs that are necessary to make sure we're still alive and we're healthy, we're okay. To end with that, to me, is so poetic and intriguing. And I'm all about that type of stuff, poetry, psychology, philosophy. So I'm a sucker for that, just to even try to wonder, why did they end with that? For one, it's a banger song. Maybe they're going out with a mic drop. But also to think, okay, we're talking about vital songs. We're ending on that note. They're leaving us with a stake of a song to now have to reflect and ponder. Unstable condition, a symptom of life in mental and environmental change. That's so cool. Just the lyrics. The songwriting abilities. Gosh, unstable condition. Okay. We're talking about vital songs, people's health. Literally, obviously, we don't want people to be unstable, but when someone's in an unstable condition, their numbers are off the chart. Something's not right. Something's not consistent. There's a problem. Somebody's either in danger of dying, or they're unhealthy. We're all part of a cycle in nature, in our own bodies, and there's rhythms that we look for. When neurodiagnostic technicians do EEGs, they're looking for certain patterns. When we're looking at the heartbeat, when we're assessing vital signs, there's ranges that are healthy and unhealthy. A symptom of life. And that now, right, takes us beyond just basic science or physical health to a more philosophical concept, which says the symptom of life is being unstable, things being shaky. That's just a symptom of life. That just comes with the territory. In mental and environmental change. And that wordplay, my friends, atmospheric disturbance, the feverish flux of human interface and interchange. I guess it would be an alliteration. Atmospheric disturbance to me now takes it beyond physical health of a person to, and beyond just general symptoms of life, to something in the atmosphere. This is not even just for us, our individual lives that are tainted by unstable conditions, but it's in the atmosphere. There's a disturbance. Something's happening here. The impulse is pure. Sometimes our circuits get shorted. And now it's almost talking a little bit electronic, right? It's beyond just the body. This is energy now. We're talking energy. We're talking circuits. Painting a picture, using metaphors and analogies that are painting this picture of what happens in life, in our human experience. Sometimes there's a shortage, right? External interference. It's interesting how earlier it spoke of human interface and interchange, because that to me shed light on the difficulties we find in relationship as we interchange and exchange, but now also speaking of the external interference that affects us. Signals get crossed. Maybe talking about, communication. And when we're in relationship, when we're going through life, it's unstable, it gets messy, signals get crossed, we misunderstand each other, and the balance distorted by internal incoherence, right? So there's this focus on the external factors, but also the internal factors, the incoherence that we experience as humans. It's not just, all your fault because you miscommunicated and our signals got mixed and crossed and I didn't understand you. It's also and often what's going on inside of me. I mean, talk about the perfect psychological song, right? The song that really deals with how complex being a human is, but also being human beings can be in relationship. The things that I say and the way that I mean them are complex in and of themselves because of my experiences, my thoughts, my conscious and subconscious. And then there's different theories, of course, on that, depending on which school of thought we look at psychologically, right? How much of the ego, super ego, id, right? When you look at it, Freudian, other people talking about what was it? Jung, I believe, if we look at more of that collective mind, right? You have different theories and then you have your own ideas on why we do what we do. Even just the things I say and think are complex for all those reasons and more. But then by the time that it's reached your ear, so much has either been lost in translation or mistranslated or changed its translation. And now you're going to hear what I am saying through your lens and your perception. And I feel like this song beautifully just showcases the complexity of relationship and human existence. A tired mind become a shapeshifter. Ooh, everybody need a mood lifter. Everybody need reverse polarity. Wow. And this is powerful because reverse polarity to me works with earlier this idea of the circuits getting shorted. So when we're talking energy, we're talking electricity, circuits getting shorted. But even when we're talking about communication, right, on that, when we're talking about how electricity and energy flows to communicate and to connect something, to make something, for a light to turn on, for the communication to be passed through the phone or down the telegram, the circuits have to work, the energy has to flow. The message has to come through. And so if there's a shortcut in the circuit, or if there is the wrong polarity, things have to be reversed. We got to fix this. We got to reverse it. But then to say a tired mind becomes a shapeshifter is a powerful psychological statement, because I don't remember who said this. There was a quote I read somewhere. I can't remember now, where it basically said that a lot of times a tired mind will face the same old battles. So you may be going through life and you've overcome certain things, or you feel like you're getting better with certain struggles, be it self-esteem, be it your temper, be it patience, be it, the way you communicate. And sometimes we feel like we're overcoming or getting better at dealing with certain trauma, with issues, with patterns we're trying to face. But when we're tired, our tired mind often finds ourselves battling the things we thought we had overcome because we're exhausted and our mind is weary. And so I feel like here to say a tired mind becomes a shapeshifter, to me, it reminds me of that quote. It reminds me of the concept that, hey, when we're tired, we shapeshift. We perhaps change. We perhaps not change as a person, but we change what is being said. It's distorted, right? I'm so tired. I'm not hearing you clearly. I don't have the energy to keep working on changing those thought patterns and the way that I engage with my feelings and the way that I try to be present to myself and to you. I'm tired, right? So I might just respond and I might just react. And I forget the things that I learned, or I thought I had mastered some of those intrusive thoughts, or I thought I had gotten better at self-esteem or self-affirmation. And now I'm so tired and I fall back into some of those old patterns in myself and in relationship with others. So perhaps an idea of shape shifting ourselves the way we are, we're shape shifting, we become somebody different, or also we're shape shifting, we're distorting and altering the things that are being said and done to us because our minds are tired. Everybody got mixed feelings about the function and the form. Everybody got to deviate from the norm. An ounce of perception, a pound of obscure, process information at half speed. Guys, and this is also the lingo here to me is very sci fi, relevant as ever, because now that we're constantly on our phones and we're constantly engaging with moving pictures, literally, I feel like this is relevant as ever. This idea that things are obscured, we have various perceptions, we process information. And I mean, talk about overload, information overload from going to the store, especially here in the West, and just options galore, to driving down the road and there's billboards and signs everywhere, to being on our phone even for just a few minutes, to not even being able to say something in peace without now not thinking, okay, the ads that are popping up next are because of that said conversation. It's wild and it's too much. And so processing that information at half speed, though, to me implies that things are slowing down, right? There's a shortage in in the circuit, which also works with being tired, I feel. And that to me, whatever it meant to them back then, to me now, it fits so well with how there is a shortage internally within ourselves a lot of times because we're not present to ourselves. We're tired, we're weary, we're overstimulated, and there are discrepancies and lost signals and obscurities even in our relationships. Leave out the fiction. The fact is, this friction will only be worn by persistence. These guys are master songwriters. This is ridiculous. Fiction and friction, great rhyme scheme here, alliteration, but also speaking of, again, the electric circuit. I mean, I just love how they keep using similar lingo to communicate this. Leave out the fiction. Let's put storytelling aside, which also to me fits with all the songs of this album, these different pictures that they took us through, these moving pictures, this film, if you will. Leave out all that fiction. The fact is, this friction will only be worn by persistence. And that also to me could be taken different ways. Worn out, worn as in something we carry. Leave out conditions, courageous convictions will drag the dream into existence. And then it repeats, a tired mind becomes a shapeshifter. Everybody got mixed feelings about the function and the form. And to me, now when we speak of function and form of what? Of ourselves, of what it means to be human, of this relationship, of existing. What is the function and the form that we have mixed feelings about? That life, the symptom of life, that unstable condition we're in, could be taken so many different ways in my mind. Everybody got mixed feelings. Everybody got to deviate from the norm. Everyone got to elevate from the norm. Deviate and elevate. To deviate means to turn away. To elevate means to go above. And to me, that fits with, which one was it? To me, that idea fits with the challenge, the profound challenge that Rush is giving us in Camera Eye when it talks about perception, when it talks about how we're missing so many things. I feel like it fits with the storytelling that we found in Red Barqueta and the sci-fi elements of fighting for something and rebelling against what the masses or the government or the new environment may have us do or hide or forbid. It is thought-provoking. It fits with what I found in The Witch Hunt, calling out hypocrisy or the righteous hatred or people that think they know what's best for us. I feel like this is a very rebellious album and I love it because I feel like, again, it's as relevant as ever. And I think this is the type of music where we got to get back to and say, hey, we got to listen to this. Back in 1981, the year my older sister was born. This album was released and it was profound and it was provocative and it made you think if you're willing to listen. And now I would say it's relevant more than ever. These symptoms that are happening, these disturbances, this hatred that's spewed, the control and laws that are being put into place, this life that we're missing as we're looking through everything through that camera lens and ironically missing all the things we would see if we were to actually focus. I mean, there's so much more we could talk about here. I'm mind blown by the psychological and philosophical complexity of this band and their lyrics, the composition. This was a freaking epic ride. Yeah, this one might be my top one right now. What do you think? What's your favorite Rush song if you had to pick? What is your favorite album? I hope you enjoyed being on this ride with me. Make sure to check out the whole album reaction, and I will see you on the next ride. Make sure to subscribe as well. I'll see you soon. Heyo!